We get more views than you. We've been on less than you. We work harder than y'all. We cut our hair more than you. Like, yo, if y'all
Motherfucker, you're balding. Bro, take a time out. Time out. Haven't preached versus fresh and fit. When I thought that fit actually meant the physical side of it, you know, fitness, it's actually about two grown-ass men throwing a fit like children. We are better. Shut up. But you've probably already seen everything that has to be seen. But I would like to, in a very concise way, show every single hypocritical point that comes from all this discussion. And I'm sorry to inform you, but Ab and Preach don't have a lot of hypocritical things going for them. So yeah, this is gonna be an episode dedicated fully for fresh and fit.
We just came at them for their ideas with regards to paying for box and all this stuff. Thought it was full of shit.
I'm like, yo, real ass niggas don't pay for box.
Even more, what I find really distasteful is you come to find out that Myron Gaines himself, right, the so-called pickup artist, the master, has his own Seeking Arrangements account, his own profile, all right? This is on the web. You can find it. This man's out here talking about don't pay for box, don't pay for box. He's on a website for sugar daddies and sugar babies. Okay. You want to be a giant hypocrite? Do your thing, okay?
I don't think this is going to be the first point. It is one of the biggest points about the hypocrisy in this video. But do I have to say anything? I'm sorry, I'm not going to have any special notes for this first point, okay? It's not going to be always like this, but Abba just said everything. You're going to really talk about not paying for anything? Because I've seen a lot of comments, oh, they're not actually paying these women, they're just using their lives. How the fuck do you think you fund this lifestyle?
Come to find out, this man's telling girls in the DMs that if they want to come on the platform, they have to fuck. And if they don't, he gets upset about it and he gets all pissy.
So basically, that's kind of a personality trait I picked up. Let me bring a little bit of background here. Something that I personally watch, which was Abba's podcast when he went there for the first time. The environment in that shit, like Abba talked about 3 times. I could tell, or at least I had the suspicion that it was being diplomatic. That the things that they were talking about, like the women that they invite, which is kind of their shtick, right? They are so goddamn dumb, but they don't make it any better. It was like seeing Albert Einstein talking about astrophysics in the room of anti-vaxxers. It's just unfair. And Abba was just there preaching, they themselves saying that shit. So them flipping out, talking about how their content sucks and stuff like that when you invite them, it goes beyond logic to me. But this explains it all. The kind of women that you have on your show have to be dumb enough to fuck with you. Actually, I'm sorry, to actually do it with you. Okay? Dude, if this is not the most simp, nice guy, r/nice guy shit that I've ever seen in my life, I don't know what it is. So basically she rejected it, and he's like, oh, I'm just being honest and stand by. I'm not collaborating with you unless we fuck. You have a bunch of dudes I know and aren't special. Yeah, that kind of tells you something, right? But again, it doesn't surprise me that this is the kind of woman that you invite, right? That this podcast relies on this kind of interaction. I'm not going to go into the fields of like, what would Twitter think? You know, those kind of things that Twitter goes like, oh, I'm not even going to think about that. I'm just thinking about how merely pathetic this all looks like. That you see her going with dudes that are nowhere near successful as you, and she's not going with you. She doesn't want to do it with you. Why is that? I just love it when people are losing games and you go like, oh, you're trash, but the guy is winning. You are placing yourself under trash if you're losing. I hope you understand that. But for I watched their entire podcast because of Abba. There was some substance just because Abba was there. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me why you have so many bimbos on your podcast, because they have to be willing to do that.
Boom. So let's see here. Let's see. These guys have almost 1 million more subs than us, guys. All right.
So we're the blue line.
We're the blue line. They're the red. They have 1.38, which is 1,380,000 subscribers. Guys, we only have 430,000 subscribers. Yep. Okay, we have literally like less than 1/3 of their joint, right? And we got 20 million views, and they got 14.9 million views. Ouch. Very interesting for you guys to go ahead and make a video insulting us months after the fact. I wonder why. Oh, it's because we're hotter than you guys right now.
I'm going to talk about something that maybe not even Evan and Preach themselves talking about. You don't know how analytics work. If all it came down to understanding if someone is successful or not on YouTube, if all we needed was views and subscriber count ratio, we wouldn't have hundreds of lines in YouTube Studio to figure out how well are we doing. There's channels out there with 50,000 subscribers that are making 10 times more money than you. There's a bunch of information that you can't possibly know from their channel because it's not public that would indicate that they are more successful than you. Audience retention is one of it. These guys talk about the most diversified topics. In fact, you talk about that shit being a negative, but I can assure you it's a positive. Assuming that they have the views that they have, with the number of variety discussion they have, societal issues in general. So, you know, women, men, race, taboos, just poor bad behavior, bad takes in general. These guys touch basically everything. They also like to react to some funny shit. Most people would tell you that that's a terrible plan to follow on YouTube. It's really hard to reach. But once you do, these guys basically make views not based on what they're reacting at. Most of the times they get the views related to who they are and how we know them as being a pair of guys with integrity that can be funny. Two things that you fail at. So you can come with this, like, I see you, you're doing good with your channel. Those analytics are not bad at all. As you said, you have fewer subscriber count and stuff like that. But that's not all. These guys have been on the game for longer. They learn more than you. You come here talk about like, oh, there's no one who works more than us. They don't work more than us. First and foremost, how the fuck do you know? Secondly, you're talking to a mic. You have an editor. You have apparently a promotional team, right? You have a social media handler, I'm assuming. You have a bunch of guys who are working with you. Don't come with this bullshit that no one works as hard as us. You might be planning the content. You might be planning the guests, which apparently involves fucking them. You plan all this stuff. But don't make it seem like it's a hard job to do. You live in Miami, dude, a city full of immigrants. If there's someone who will tell you how fucking what hardworking is, just take a fucking walk. They get deranked all the time. They talk about too much of controversial topics. YouTube doesn't like that. YouTube doesn't go by what is socially relevant. It goes by what's profitable. It's kind of obvious as a company. I'm not going to be mad at that. But you are profitable. Why? Not because your content is better, but because your content is something that people like to watch. It's trashy as hell. It's like Trisha Paytas in that sense. People like to see trash. People like to see you toss out women, even though you're the most sensitive of them all. In the ABBA podcast, like when ABBA went there for the first time, or at least the podcast that I saw, dude, you tossed out a girl when she was clearly responding after you ended talking.
The Disney fairy tale, but that's not how the world works.
I think that's what you've
Can you stop
learned
cutting me
in
off?
life.
Seriously, can you stop cutting me off?
Do you feel like I'm cutting you off?
Yeah,
I think this was like a conversation, not a monologue.
No. Did you not ask a question?
If I'm not allowed to
Get
talk.
out. Get the fuck out.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
You gotta respect the platform and not cut people off.
Thank you.
And then you start saying like, I didn't finish. Dude, you took a long ass fucking pause. To me, maybe just pause, but that's a perfect time to interrupt someone. And you kicked out the girl being all emotional. Like, you're emotional. For an alpha male, dude, you're incredibly emotional.
We get more views than you. We've been on less than you. We work harder than y'all. We cut our hair more than you. Like, yo, if y'all would
Motherfucker, you're balding. Bro, take a time out. Time out. What the fuck do you mean you cut? You're still balding. It doesn't matter how much you dude, I learned that lesson. I'm balding myself. But how are you taking a shit on someone's backyard when your backyard is full of shit itself? Look at that fucking shit right there. That's a bald spot. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Man, get the fuck out of here. If this is the far more hypocritical shit ever. It's visually there. It's balding, man. God damn, that's dumb.
My man Abba looks like he got off a camel, hasn't cut his hair in years.
You're fucking bald, dude. Stop.
But I guarantee you, next year, this time, we're gonna lap you motherfuckers. Because you know what? Nobody works harder than us.
You're no competition. You're talking all this nonsense as if you actually honestly think that you are rivals to them. You're not in the same league, buddy. As I said, these guys could touch the most absurd topic on the world. They would watch you. Can you assure me that your audience would watch you talk about, I don't know, man. If you made a video about something that you liked, would that also rank well? You relied on bimbos getting kicked out, being completely irrelevant sometimes when women are making their arguments. The rare situations where those bimbos are actually making some good arguments, all of a sudden like, but man, women are the ones initiating 80% of the divorce. Like, no, it's irrelevant to the point. So relieve some pressure off you, all right? Don't think of yourself as a competition, because I can assure you that in 10 years we'll remember Abba and Preach as two guys who were providing content with integrity, with some substance that actually helped men, like Kevin Samuels, for example, versus you two guys who are going to be known for tossing out women and just talk all this pandering nonsense to men. That's what you're going to be known for.
He has this whole thing, don't lead with money. And like in a bunch of his videos, he's like, hey girl, I'm gonna shower you with gifts. Come on, we're gonna go shop for Lambos and Ferraris. I'm like, bruv, if it wasn't for your clout, you wouldn't be out here getting anything. Let's be real.
And I would even like to add, I just don't believe in this guy's game. How the fuck is this guy approaching women? You have a pum pum. You have a pum pum. Like that's how you approach women, dude. You stutter. Clean your backyard. God damn it, man. Oh, we're pulling more women. We don't even pay for them. Bro, you have to pay them. Dude, if the girl has some cleavage and your jaw locks up, that's game over. You're gonna stutter there until it's midnight. And this is not me being purposely like trying to shame you. I stutter too. I am pretty sure you noticed. I eat up words. But recognize yourself, have some self-awareness to recognize like, yeah, you know what? I gotta pay some because I'm a mess. Or at the very least, I'm not as good as I thought I was. That you shouldn't legalize selling pum pum because you want burning passion or whatever the fuck you called it. Dude, there's no burning passion. Like, you gotta create that shit. And I can assure you on a like, especially on a casual perspective, just engaging women that you don't know, burning desire, you either have to rely on money or extreme good looks and some fucking game. Actually be able to talk, because you can talk. Now, on another video of Evan preach about this, Fluke and Fraud try to apologize, right? There's also another, like, huge backtrack. A very hypocritical moment, right? Where you can see that these guys have no integrity. All this facade of being an alpha male, they can't even handle one-on-one confrontation, let alone a box fight. Secondly, any kind of discussion of ideas. But this is something they don't recover. They show the true colors here. No one changes from, you know, their opinion from night to day. Their integrity is not going to be reinstated, right? They're not going to gain a bunch of, like, so much humbling experience that in one day they become more, they have way more integrity. Abin Preach took 4 years to catch our attention. That comes with integrity. These guys, they don't want integrity. They're only apologizing to stop losing the subscriber count, right? They're bleeding out on that regard. They don't care. And they're only backtracking now because now they realize, like, an old channel that apparently they were going to overthrow, you mess with them, people will not fucking forget.
Because he was talking crazy on another podcast. You know what I told him? Why were you saying that stuff? He started stuttering. I don't remember calling you blue-pilled, beta. Specifically, you felt like we were kind of blue-pilled, right?
I don't remember. What show was this one?
I remember it very, very well because that episode I was very careful of what I said because the kids watched it. That episode I was very careful of what I said because the kids watched it.
So I just want to ask you about that. Why do you think I might be blue-pilled?
Well, from what I remember, I'm trying to remember. I would say blue. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, which video was?
It was the one.
I'm trying to remember.
I said, I quoted it right to his face. Even the goofy fresh boy, he was like, "Oh, Abba came with the smoke."
I also find it funny that he came with the smoke.
The idea that I wouldn't come to people and confront them about things they say. Are you guys mad?
They ask if this is your king. I ask you, is this an alpha male in the slightest? He starts stuttering. Even Myron that doesn't stutter starts stuttering, right? Because all of a sudden, like, oh, shit. Like, it's a smoke. No, dude. You talk about people. I would go to a podcast with a person that I disagree with. That wouldn't be an issue to me. But I would certainly ask a few things like, why did you say that about me? If you can't answer that in my face, I'm not going to take you seriously. For the rest of the podcast and my life. Man, there's so much things that I want to talk, god damn it, man. But I need to fucking put a cap on it, man. Put a lid on it. Alright. Because I've personally watched these, like, I've been following these guys for so many months now, if not an actual full year in some months, right? I wasn't there from the beginning, but I would say, like, I think that when they were at 800,000 subscribers, something like that. Ever since, obviously, I binge watched everything they upload, and I even made a topic the other day. That I made a video about a topic with the Phil DeFranco, for example. This wasn't happening. I think this happened exactly after I uploaded or some shit like that. And listen, my advice, I guess if they ever watch this, would make me piss my pants. Like, is to just move on. I understand a lot of people saying, like, the preach not fighting, so that you know fighting with pigs makes you dirty and shit like that. Like that all. It's understandable what's being said here, but I don't know, man. I really want to watch someone who never got any kind of accountability in life. That all this backtracks because it's not making money or some shit. Them trying to monetize the fucking show, the boxing, stuff like that. Just shows who they truly are. But man, I don't know. I want to watch some motherfucker get punched in the mouth for what they said, you know. And talking about wives and countries and stuff like that, dude. They apologize, but I mean, it's not about apologizing. It's about not doing it in the first place. I don't know, man. I'm 22. I don't see myself in a situation. I still get angry. Never found myself in a situation to even offend people nowadays. If I'm gonna be offended with someone, or like I'm gonna do this, I trust me when I say this, I do it behind closed doors, right? Because I know that rage that is gonna arise from that, I don't mean it. But you on a podcast, you go with all this fucking rage and shit like that, you take the consequence of publicizing that shit. Especially that, man. You knew that shit was happening. You didn't delete the video right away. You only deleted when you started losing subscribers. Just keep talking about the trash fucking conversations that you have on your podcast. No one cares, right? Make your money. But when you mess with people with integrity, man, internet is gonna bite you back, right? It's not gonna work out. But with that being said, I think that's all I have to say. Subscribe if you like this style of videos, right? Liking the video would blow this shit up, and that would make me really happy, right? But above all, leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.